Okay, so welcome to another episode of Watching Movies with My Pastor. We have something very, very special today because we have hit the 70th anniversary of Peanuts.
Yay!
Charles Schulz. And what's fun, I actually checked out once from the library. I'm going to move my microphone a little further up my shirt. I checked out from the library. They had the first collection book. And so the very first actual Peanut, because it was called I think Wee Folks or stuff like that at one point. But when you first called it Peanuts and had the first one that was published, you have, I believe, Shermy and some other kids sitting there on the corner. And Charlie Brown's kind of walking by in 3 frames. You go here he comes. There's Charlie Brown. Yep, good old Charlie Brown. And then as Charlie Brown's walking away, how I hate him.
Yeah.
And that established everything you needed to know about Charlie Brown.
It was Sherman and...
Shermy.
Yeah, Shermy. Well, I always say Sherman.
Yeah, I think his real given name was probably Sherman, but he was known as Shermy.
Yeah, that's right.
So...
And the thing I liked about that, the thing I really liked about the old cartoon and comic strips, and I've read them, I've had many of them since I was young.
I want to get some sets.
Yeah, I still have bits, there's parts of it, but it's usually anniversaries or when he passed away, they brought out certain things.
Yeah.
Of course, the truth is, they brought him out because he was retiring.
Right.
And this shows you how I believe God has a kind of a wink. You could say it was a way of giving a nod to the man, to Charles Schulz, because he felt that it was ready to, and it was time.
It was time.
And what happened the morning that comic strip came out, the very last one, he passed away.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.
And I remember he used to say that he'd come up with the character of Charlie Brown, kind of based a little on himself when he was a kid. And the worst day that he was having, the more he'd really stick it to Charlie Brown in a comic strip he would draw. And he would work out his frustrations. Now, we're going to watch the movie from 1969. It was the first animated movie they did from Peanuts, A Boy Named Charlie Brown. I remember watching this on HBO or whatever when I was a kid. It was on all the time. And it's got probably one of the greatest songs for a Charlie Brown, at least. And it's a great theme song to this, but it's also one of those songs I like to comment that when you watch it in the movie, it's better than when the artist goes and records it separately for an album. Sort of like Can You Read My Mind? It's fantastic in the movie, but actually it's not bad when you hear the singing with it. But Margot Kidder couldn't sing the song, so she kind of says the lyrics to Can You Read My Mind? But there is an album version that somebody did later, which actually isn't bad.
Can you read my mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes the movie has a better version. And the only album version you're going to find of the theme is on the guy's album. And I forgot the guy's name. But he does it kind of his own style and a little quicker tempo, and it doesn't fit. But it's a great song where it sums up why everybody loves Charlie Brown, because we can all relate to Charlie Brown. He's like the kid next door, perhaps a little more, it says, but he's every kid in every town.
Yeah.
And we're all a boy named Charlie Brown, because we can relate to where all this stuff happens to him, but yet he don't quit. He gets depressed, but he's somehow or another, he still has that little bit of optimism that comes out where he gets his hopes up and he will try. Even if he was going to fail every time, he doesn't stop trying. And so somewhere deep inside all of us, we feel that way.
I've always been a combination of Charlie and Pigpen. Sometimes Linus and Snoopy, but I'll be truthful. The older I get and the less hair I have, the more Charlie Brown
you look like Charlie Brown.
Yeah, that's it,
And I've always been kind of Linus. He's smarter than you ever give him credit for. He's not afraid to speak up and speak his mind, but he might be just a little crazy. And also being extremely insecure. I fake it, but I am very insecure.
And that blanket you're holding while you're wearing a red shirt,
I'm wearing a red shirt right now, but that's because it's a work shirt, I don't have a blanket, but yeah.
But he's sucking his thumb. You just can't see it.
I sucked my thumb for a long time before my parents finally broke me. Oh, yes. I had to have the stuff put on my thumb to get me to stop where it made it taste bad. And then I switched to the other thumb, so then it started getting both of me. I couldn't sleep for weeks until I got over it.
Is that right?
Because that's the only way I could sleep. For a long time, but they broke me of it before I started kindergarten and stuff. But
he doesn't believe in the great pumpkin. He believes in the great pumpkin pie.
That's right. We haven't introduced it. Well, my name's Jeremy. I'm known as the Spider-Pan of the Fandom Nexus podcast, which maybe you're a fan of, and I've been telling you about this. And of course, with me is Pastor Phillip Kuntz.
Hello.
Which you can also hear every week and the Movement of Truth Bible Baptist Church podcast. You can hear sermons on that. We need to integrate a bit more as we watch these shows, some spiritual content of what you can get from these, because there's a reason why why we watch Way the Best. Other than, I've known him since I was like 7.
Yeah.
But there's little things, little lessons we can learn sometimes from these movies, little spiritual lessons, and perhaps we'll get something from this. But without further ado, let's get started with A Boy Named Charlie Brown. And I got to wait for it to load.
I saw this at the PTA movies years ago, but I don't remember much of it. Oh, this is the company that brought us Scrooge.
Cinema Center Films. Yes, the musical Scrooge. Yeah. Yep. I know we're supposed to talk during the movie, but I want to watch.
I remember
so
this
bad.
scene.
Yeah.
I could just lie here all day and watch them drift by.
I think every kid's done that.
If you use your imagination, you could see lots of things in the cloud formations. What do you think you see, Linus?
Well, those clouds up there look to me like the map of the British Honduras.
I love Linus seeing the crazy
me of my
stuff.
dad and my brother Matt.
Yes.
There's something about the old animation where it has that old look. I like it. Even little dots.
The stoning of Stephen. I love Charlie Brown. Linus goes, that cloud looks like the stoning of Stephen. And Charlie Brown looks up like, what? What do you see in the clouds?
Well, I was going to say I saw a ducky and a horsey, but I changed my mind.
I love that. I saw a ducky and a horsey, but I changed my mind.
See, the colors change.
Yeah. This is,
shorter.
It's in 1969, so there's some musical numbers that are really like,
This is
this the year, but it's a little hip, for
this
1969.
is the year that the Brady Bunch started.
Oh, there you go.
The year my mom and dad got married.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
So there are some musical numbers with some weird, goofy songs. The I Before E song, which I've always remembered.
I like it.
I tell people I Before E, except after C when they try to spell my last name.
By the way, speaking of dogs on cartoons, also the year that Scooby-Doo started.
This is also the beginning of Snoopy. Oh, here's the song.
Yeah.
I have to control myself sometimes with this song. It gets to me sometimes a lot. It's a good one.
Brings back some memories, man.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
Yeah.
A much simpler time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you just see all the love and care he goes to making this kite, and it's going to go wrong.
Back in the day, before the little phones and all that.
Yeah.
You couldn't decide what you're going to watch and when.
And simple toy and just making it yourself, making your own kite.
There was something fun about it.
Yeah. I never got to make my own kite,
No, I did actually in school.
I love the pride he looks over it like, oh, look, I've done a fine job making this kite. And he's so proud.
I hate to tell you this, buddy. I don't think it's going to last.
Yeah.
I know your luck.
I know. Yeah. But when Charlie Brown gets that big smile, it makes you, as the song is saying, makes you feel glad.
Did they ever make the St. Patrick's Day one? Good luck, Charlie Brown.
They probably did. Oh, and he didn't even hardly get out the door before the wind just wrecked it.
He kind of did a pig pen thing there. Poor kid.
But he doesn't quit. He's like, I'm going to try again.
Thank you. He's got tenacity.
Yep. He just when that live action, well, not live action, that 3D movie came out that says that's about Charlie Brown. Everything bad happens, but he's always got his inner optimism. He always has hope, and he is never going to quit. Yeah, there's that kite-eating tree, just ready to chew it.
Mm-hmm. Dun 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 dun.
There's that groovy 1969 music, Vince Guaraldi Trio. I don't know if this is before or after he had the Linus and Lucy song, which became a big hit on radio.
This would have been after, because the Halloween show had already been on. It was on that.
Yeah, because you had all the specials already. Mm-hmm. And finally thought, we can make movies. And you're almost so happy. He's like, oh, it's in the air, Charlie Brown. Oh, but
I'll never be able to get this kite in the air. Never, 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 never.
Yeah. Says he'll never get that kite in the air. He's throwing a fit, but he will try again.
Mm-hmm. Plus, here's my problem with back then when we went to the PTA movies. They had so many Charlie Brown movies. My mind kind of, I was only 5 and 6.
Actual 4 movies. I have them all on DVD.
No, we mixed them. My mind mixed them all up because some of the same type of things. I mean, I remember Snoopy Come Home or something like that. Snoopy Come Home, I think, was one of them.
I have that one.
Yeah. I remember the song. Snoopy.
Mm-hmm. I hear Snoopy not even trying, got that kite flying.
And I remember the one where they were on the raft.
Mm-hmm. Race for your life, Charlie Brown.
This pitcher's mound is covered with dandelions.
Don't touch them, Charlie Brown. Don't you dare hurt all those innocent dandelions. They're beautiful. Don't you dare cut them down. Besides, you may not know it, but you look kind of cute standing there surrounded by dandelions.
I don't want to look cute.
Yeah, don't believe a word Lucy tells you, though.
Condescending, man. Oh.
That's the way you would be at about 7 years old, though. I don't want to be cute. I want to pitch baseball.
What on earth? How did he get the electric tip?
Who knows? Snoopy, I don't know how much stuff he's got in that doghouse, how he pulls this stuff off. Can't remember if he's pulling out a record player. It's been a while.
I always loved as a kid the thought of there being a lot more room inside of something than there really was.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking Doctor Who a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But look, this old suitcase record player.
Mm-hmm.
You got to love it.
We had those at school. And we used to watch these types of things there.
Mm-hmm. Most patriotic part of the movie. I feel like we should stand up. It's a great bit of animation here, too.
Glass gleaming. It's red glare. A true through the night.
Yeah. This has a lot of music that doesn't necessarily move the story forward. It's just, we want to put some music in this.
But that was big in the day, too, in the 60s and all. Oh, this is great animation.
It is fantastic what they're doing. Lots of colors, red, white, and blue. There's Shermie. Shermie almost like disappeared.
Oh, there's a Violet.
Yep.
Of the rain.
Yay, play ball. And then, as long as it took him to get out the record player, now he's hurry getting out there. I'm sure he had at one point put great effort into making sure that cable was wound properly, but it's a mess when he gets into the house. I don't know why Snoopy bothers with the glove. If he tries to catch the ball, he gets it in his mouth, like a dog.
The jazzy piano playing on Peanuts is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's the voice of what's going on, the mood.
Yep, see? Snoopy catching the ball in his mouth and spitting it out at the throw it.
I can never remember her name.
Naturally curly hair. That's what her name is.
I have a toy of her, and I can't remember what it says on there. It has a name. Or did.
I forgot. Yeah, he's got a weird bunch of people to play games with, but they always blame him for them losing. It's like, the rest of you are all not that great players.
One finger will mean the high straight ball. 2 fingers will mean the low straight ball. What about my curveball?
Uh-oh.
And my slider? And my knuckleball? And my sidearm? And my submarine pitch?
I couldn't do any of that myself, so I couldn't judge.
1 finger will mean the high straight ball. And 2 fingers will mean the low straight ball.
I love that. That's a great setup for that joke. It really is.
They're right. You do look kind of cute standing there.
Oh, you do look cute there, Charlie Brown. Oh. The only thing missing is the big words "kapow" when he gets hit by the ball.
Exactly.
Hit right at him. That's typical. You never get to see the other team they play with. At least he managed to keep his shorts on every time he gets hit with the ball and knocked out like that, right?
Yeah.
But what are they doing out in the field? Are they managing to field these balls? Or oof. It's taking you too long to get dressed after every pitch, after you get hit with the ball.
Her name is Frida.
Frida, that's right.
No, I can't do that. It wouldn't be right.
It wouldn't be right. Listen who's gone moral on us all of a sudden. Old wishy-washy here is too moral to throw a beanball.
What about the way the early settlers treated the Indians?
And what about them?
I can never remember her name either.
That one is also Patty.
That's right. That's the other.
Not Peppermint Patty.
No, that's the
Patty.
original Patty.
Yeah, the original. I think she's the one that sits there with Shermie. Oh, how I hate him. I think it's her and Shermie sitting on the corner.
And I remember I always thought butterscotch was here.
I love this. We never win any ball games, but we sure have interesting discussions. I love it. Talks about, having taken a moral high ground, and they accuse me of wishy-washy, and everybody's like, you're so moral, but what about this? Well, what about this? Oh, my goodness.
Charlie Brown got hit by a line drive. Does anyone here know anything about first aid?
It's probably not serious. Second or third aid will do. Here, run over to the...
Second or third aid will do.
You're kidding. With a head like Charlie Brown's, you'll need a bed sheet.
She's so
dying,
cool.
and all I hear are insults.
I feel like that sometimes. I'm dying, and all I hear is insults. This bit with all the colors on that music really reminds me of like the old-fashioned intermission you see sometimes at the drive-in. See, this just proves none of them are any good, but they all blame Charlie Brown for their loss.
He's that scapegoat again.
Yeah. It's amazing they get any outs to where they get back up at all.
We always seem to lose the first game of the season and the last game of the season.
And all the other games in the middle.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this was going to be our big year. The year when it looked like we might even score our first run.
I love Linus doing these complex patterns.
Yeah, I see that.
Charlie Brown just writing CB.
If you keep on doing different things, you're going to win. Just as much as anyone else.
It's such a great speech he gives him, and then it's going to be disaster. Says all that. One of these days, Charlie Brown, you'll win, as he beats him at tic-tac-toe.
That's awesome.
Oops. And Linus just like the look like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just playing. It's like one more thing for Charlie Brown to lose.
I think we all have days like that.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, yes. We had to have a scene with the Red Baron. Now, this is actually some of the same footage you'll see in The Great Pumpkin.
That's right. Not that I blame them.
Yeah, I doubt they had the budget, like Disney,
Oh, yeah. Not to mention, it wasn't like you could watch it anytime you wanted. It only came on once a year, and it was just a few minutes here and there on there.
So, save a few bucks on animation, be able to put a fun scene in. They have a lot of things that just diverts from the main story just to have some fun with these characters.
Why can't I have an ordinary dog like everybody else?
Well, at least it didn't end up sleeping in the doghouse.
And it was the 60s. The 60s did that with their movies a lot of times. Like, you had musicals and things, and they did that a lot, Doris Day films and things. They would do that kind of stuff.
I even remember doing that when I was a kid, because you'd see, farmers with hay in their mouth chewing on it, and so you'd pick up a random weed, and you'd chew on it, thinking, oh, this must be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need help. Everything I do turns to failure.
Why would you want to go to her for help?
Yeah, I don't know what made Lucy think she was interested.
Well, she's definitely a know-it-all.
Yeah.
You need me to point out your faults, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, you need me to point out your faults because she just loves doing it anyway.
Yes. Narcissistic and all.
Mm-hmm.
And yet lovable, too. To a point.
To a point, yeah.
See what I've done? I put all of your faults on slides.
Oh, this is so horrible. All your faults on slide. We're going to go watch them all. Look at every failure you've had that I've taken pictures of you. And she does this for her own pleasure. And then charges him a nickel.
Now we're really going to get down to business. The next batch of slides will show your biggest and most damaging faults. These could take about an hour to show.
Oh, it's so horrible. I love the way they leave it to your imagination what's on these slides. This poor Charlie Brown is just freaking out.
He's going to cause him insecurities for the rest of his life.
Yeah. He's going to have PTSD.
Yeah.
What kind of emotional outlets would you suggest?
This football is a perfect answer. There's no better emotional outlet than kicking a football. To sum it all up in one phrase, Charlie Brown, you could kick away your faults.
Kick away your faults with a football. Yep. Charlie Brown never seems to wise up.
No.
Yeah. It's like he knows exactly what's going to happen. He illustrates it.
Kick her instead.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking as a pastor here.
Yeah.
I've been that fat kid before, and I wasn't bald then.
Yeah, so devious how she manages to get him to go for this and try to kick the ball every time. A little extra bonus surprise. Yeah, we know what that surprise is going to be.
Why, oh why do I let her do this to me? Why? Maybe she's right. After all, if you can't trust your own psychiatrist, who can you trust?
Not when your psychiatrist is Lucy Van Pelt.
That's right.
Don't trust her.
I'd rather trust Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. Oh.
And now for the surprise. Would you like to see how that looked on instant replay? See how erratic your movements are?
Of course, that doesn't match he was actually more determined when he was running. Now in slow motion, he looks more horrible. She's like one of the greatest villains ever, I swear, because she gets away with it. By being the most horrible person in this entire series.
I've never gone through anything like that in my life. I never knew I could be so stupid. I never knew I had so many faults. I never felt so completely miserable.
Wait until you get my bill.
I feel like that about going to work. It's like, why do I have to go to work? I went yesterday.
I always hated whenever it was time for school and when you dreamt that it was Christmas.
Oh.
That was, or you dreamt it was summer and it was the beginning of the school year. And you're like, no.
Yeah. How would you feel if people came up to you and said, your little brother drags a blanket with him wherever he goes?
This blanket is a necessity.
As for me, I ain't got a blanket, so I got to cling to Jesus. I mean, that's it. I'm insecure as heck too, but I ain't gonna carry a blanket around. I got my crutch, and it's Jesus. And if they want to say it's a crutch and a bad thing, well, you know what? A crutch is helpful.
Jesus is my crutch. He was on the cross. He took care of that. You know,
I gotta lean on him a lot.
That's right. I was hoping to go to the wall.
Only dread one day at a time.
Yeah. I used to do that at school. Go to this little wall they had, and I would lean on it.
Yeah, what's fun about the characters is like when you go to the early stuff, you got baby Linus.
Yeah, that's right.
But nobody else ages. But if you're a baby, you can grow up to match the same age as everybody, so you can all go to class together.
Yeah, and even Shermie was like they're like preschool. That's Shermie. That's true too. But Schroeder and all of them were kind of preschool almost.
Well, they all age to where they all can be about second or third grade.
Yeah, and all that basic vicinity there. Yeah, because Sally was originally like that.
Yeah, Sally, they managed to get her to stay in kindergarten.
Yeah, in that basic area.
No wonder everyone calls you Failure Face.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, that is a horribly mean song. Yeah, these three girls are really horrible. They are the original Mean Girls.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they are. Failure Face.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff can really hurt someone.
Yeah.
By golly, I'll show him. I'll show him
That's
that I'm
right.
good at
By
something.
golly, by gum.
By golly, I'll show him.
You will, Charlie Brown. You show them.
Maybe I will enter the spelling bee.
I always love the way the horn goes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to be in the spelling bee.
I always thought what were they called? The Robears, or whatever they call the Robears from Thundercats. They always sounded.
Oh, yes.
They sound similar to them.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't actually win. All I want to do is get past the first few rounds and make a decent showing.
Just want to go. No one's ever gone to the distance of Apollo. I just want to go to the distance. That's pretty much what he's doing.
Often I'd be thinking these types of things. I just want to get done with the assignment. If I could just get and I couldn't. I just, and then I had to go learn disability for a little while because that's that very thing. I just couldn't do it.
I always thought I was a good speller, but I never got very far in spelling bees. It's different when you spell it out loud compared to writing it down. The older I get, the less I know how to spell words too. It reminds me of when I've seen like kids that do this spelling bee, they'll kind of try to write it in the air a little bit sometimes.
It helps me.
You kind of visualize it.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. That is one of the things that I didn't catch when I was a kid. Like every word that he gets is something failure or insecure, stuff that he's so familiar with.
Bold.
Yeah. And even the word that gets him in the end, I'm not going to say anymore because we'll get there, but
did it, Charlie Brown. You are great. You're our class champion.
Go, Charlie Brown. It's so nice that he gets to win a little bit.
Yeah.
And then gets that look.
You didn't think I could do it, did you? But I did it.
You didn't think I could do it. Yay. You tell him, Charlie Brown. Those nasty mean girls.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
I love his just the optimism. He really puts everything when he tries. This does remind me just how complicated and weird the English language really is. We spell everything weird.
Well, that and because we come from so many other places and types. And
we have a very strange Latin derivative language.
Yeah, that's it.
This song or this little bit should be like required in elementary when you're learning to spell.
It sounds like something they would have done like on Animaniacs or something.
Or the electric company.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sesame Street, maybe.
And what reminds me of this also is, have you ever seen the music video for Weird Al Yankovic's Word Crimes?
I don't think so. Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
I'll have to show it to you sometime. Could you imagine trying to write this song and put all the rules of how to spell?
Yeah, it's a lot. 2 O's are or oo, or
Yeah, we gotta love the mouth harp.
I love it. See, that was my problem. I get it all mixed up.
Yeah. Or sometimes, you'd be working on it so hard, you study so hard, then you get to the test and your brain just
it just
goes everywhere.
And it all sounds right when you're saying it, but you're like, oh, no, and you can see it. You're like, no, something's not right.
Yeah, all the girls that speak ill of him, suddenly he wins, and oh yes, we just knew you could do it all the time.
Hey, did you ever notice on the older cartoons like this? Did you ever notice the gray halo-ish thing around them? It's like it's a shadow, is what it was.
Yeah, shadow from the ink onto the background thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat sometimes.
Yeah, I like it. I've noticed on the Hanna-Barbera cartoons and stuff too.
Yeah, it gives it that hand-drawn parts of the feel.
I really like it. Now you don't see it on all cartoons like that. Like Disney's usually doesn't have. They slow down a little bit and they put it right close to it.
Yeah,
but you see it occasionally.
It's just nice. It gives it that artist's hand.
Yeah.
In there, you feel like real people, make this.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a personal touch.
Yeah. When you buy the handcrafted item,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, almost a signature.
Yeah. This is a fun little tune. The Champion, Charlie Brown. I like that song.
I like that too.
Oh, and this we're like, Lucy's going to suddenly decide she's his agent.
That song kind of reminded me a little bit of one of the songs that was on the old Flintstones.
She's just hiring herself to be his agent. Oh.
Yeah, starting to go out a little bit.
This might be as good a time as any to take a short intermission. Okay, so while we're taking this brief intermission, I want to go and let you know, we don't quite have a website set up for this particular podcast, but I'm kind of networking it in with the Fandom Nexus, which can be found at neverlandpodcast.com. I have been considering doing 2 different versions of the podcast where you'll have a version that would be a watch-along, where you could actually just watch the movie. The podcast will be the same length as the film, with of course extra, because of course when we're talking, we're not watching like the before and after and the middle, like this moment here. So I want to maybe have a watch along and then maybe put that up on a Patreon. I'll see about getting an exclusive feed set up, kind of like what we have with the Fandom Nexus podcast. But I might also have this episode here could be the edited version, where if we're not talking much but we just laugh, I'll just trim it down to when we're actually talking bits about the movie, and so you have a bit more succinct version that you get on the public feed. But if you want to be able to watch along, put that along in an exclusive feed, and maybe I'll even have where you can hear a little bit of the movie kind of faded into the back, so you can make sure you're sort of in sync, or at least hear the movie and you'll understand the context of what we're saying a little bit more, other than me making clips. So I am considering that, and so if you notice this episode that you're listening to is kind of short, it's probably because you're listening to the non-exclusive version. But yeah, because I do need to get to where this podcast pays for itself. So if anybody would like to become an exclusive member on Red Circle, I will put it into the show notes there, right there with the show. So go and think about becoming an exclusive member, and I'll probably just use the same Patreon that we run over for the Fandom Nexus.
The link for that will be below as well. But now I'm going to pass it right back on to us sitting there on the couch.
Okay, so after that brief intermission, we're getting right back now to A Boy Named Charlie Brown. Eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to put ads in one of these shows, and that's where I'll stick the ads. But we have to get enough listens. So make sure you're sharing this podcast with your friends, telling everybody you're having fun, listening along with us, or having us comment. Although we haven't commented a lot on this one because we're just kind of watching. The movies that we're more familiar with are probably going to be the ones we talk more during. But that's something like this. Hopefully, we can just do a good watch.
Sometimes we film, don't we?
Yeah. If I haven't seen it, he wants to film me so he can see my reactions. But the filming is, we need to do some tweaking for how the filming is done. But anyways, let's get back to the movie. Charlie Brown is kicking back in his easy chair, dreaming of the fact that he just won. I guess he's won the entire school competition now. So here we go.
This is only the beginning. Sure, Charlie Brown. This is only the beginning.
Looks at Snoopy to see if Snoopy will say the exact same thing. This is only the beginning.
That's what I was thinking.
Charlie Brown, this victory makes you a representative to the National Elimination Spelling Bee, 2nd grade. Your grooming is very important. Let's spruce up these clothes, Charlie Brown. You need a haircut, too.
What? You don't have much.
Like the few hairs he has, and she just plucked one.
I feel like that.
Frida is the most one-trick pony you will ever see. Everything is just naturally curly hair. Hi, my name's Frida. Did you see my naturally curly hair?
And Lucy, of course. You must think of Lucy.
Yep. The economic future of your manager. Yep. See, now she's put all this pressure on him. Oh, now you've got to do that because you're at the whole school, and now it's a mess.
I don't think I've ever seen him with that many bags in his eyes.
You'll either be a hero or a goat.
Except for now, being a goat is the greatest of all time, and not, it doesn't have the same meaning.
Oh.
How would I ever take you to a movie?
Well, this happens all the time.
When he says, how would I ever take you to the movie? He didn't say, why would I ever take you to a movie?
Yeah. And he didn't say, how would I ask you out?
Yeah. Now, in modern times, if a boy came onto a girl the way Sally comes on to Linus, he'd get Me Too'd faster than you could say lawsuit.
Yeah.
It would be called sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's called being brave and bold and knowing who you are. Aw, look at
This whole
Charlie.
thing makes me feel like I'm being drafted.
He's got a little sailor hat, too.
Yeah.
Go out there, Charlie Brown, and fight!
What has she done useful as declaring herself his agent if at 20%?
Yeah.
Did she help him study? Nope.
Mm-hmm.
And this just spells disaster. Passing over the blanket for good luck. Now Linus is going to go to pieces. Return victorious or don't come back at all.
Yeah, that's not putting any pressure on him, at least.
Sure it isn't.
Yeah, but do.
Some good old tunes in these.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that kid there with the glasses, doesn't he look like that one kid that used to be on around this time? They used to have those Cap'n Crunch commercials.
Oh, and I was thinking he looked a little bit like Sherman with the dog and Sherman. Did he go time traveling? And
just so you know, those same animators did the Cap'n Crunch cartoons.
Yeah, there you go.
But they all had the sailor hats on, and they had kind of string hair and all. Oh, look at the Beethoven.
Now we're going to do a random diversion into a Beethoven musical number for no reason.
The little toys that I bought, and he came with the Beethoven head like that.
Nice.
Do piano players make a lot of money, Schroeder?
Some do.
Both of these gals are forwarding themselves.
If they practice very hard, I guess.
Keep practicing, kiddo.
That was
no
funny.
means no. He did not give permission for you to kiss him.
That was funny, though. That was really funny. I like that. Keep practicing, kiddo.
Yep. So you become very good and make money so you can marry me.
I do like that they're they're like adults the way they talk, and it's humorous.
Yeah, that's part of the joke. Yeah. I guess too.
Oh, I kind of like that they changed this coloring a little bit.
Now we're going to go into a musical number of playing a Beethoven piece. It is a nice tune.
It's very nice. Yeah. Beethoven was one of the best ever.
But this kind of just diverts away from the story once again. So just throwing a song in here, just kind of divert from the plot. Just
the music notes, and now we got the lines and all.
Even when they go in and do filler, they put some effort into their filler.
You know what reminds me of us a little bit? First of all, I love the animation there with the candles. But it reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff we saw on Fantasia with some of the styling.
Yeah. Piano got bigger and Schroeder stayed the same size.
Yeah, he's small looking on there. Kind of candelabra. Yeah, I was going to say, it's almost sounding like a spiritual thing. Now we got these cross looking things. I mean, I'm going to say cathedral looking things.
Yeah.
Because there's a cross on top of the steeple looking thing.
Well, there is a lot of classical music that was dedicated to the Lord,
Well, and Charles Schultz. Charles Schultz was a good Christian man. We would not have had any animated specials if he could not have placed Christ, or at least a place speaking of Christ, in that first animated special of the Christmas one. It's great, Merry Christmas, Charlie. What's it called?
The
Merry Christmas, Charlie. No, what is it called?
It's Christmas, Charlie Brown. Something like that.
Something to that effect.
It's generally what they do, but yeah.
Wow, it was pretty dark.
Or either that, or it's just a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, that's just something.
Either way, I have that DVD.
Yeah, it's Christmas, Charlie Brown, something like that. I always remember those voices for the commercials, whereas by Peppermint Patty, they always had that.
Yeah.
York.
And I always missed the Charlie Brown Christmas for years. I don't think I saw the whole thing until I was an adult and then I bought it.
Is that right? I'll be dog.
Because I would always catch it late because it's around Christmas. We were always busy with something and I never got a chance to just sit and watch the whole thing. I saw the ending a couple of times, but I didn't get to watch the whole special.
But one thing my grandma did, because back then, we always went to church. My dad was a pastor. You all know this. I've said it before. My dad was a pastor.
Well, this audience might not because they might not be our usual fandom Nexus crowd.
My dad was a pastor. We didn't miss church. But now keep in mind, when I was really, 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 really little, there was times my grandma or my mom would say, well, there's something special on. He's 3 or 2, and it's a Wednesday night or something. And so we'll go ahead and let him stay home this time when we'll stay with him. And we'd watch, I remember there was one that was a Flintstones Halloween. And there was another one that was Charlie Brown's Christmas. And there was another Charlie Brown's Halloween. And we did that occasionally, very rare. Now, my dad and them went, of course. But I remember that. And what my grandma would do, because there were VCRs, but they were very rare and they're for rich people.
Yeah.
So and most of them were not VHS yet.
Yeah, Betamax.
So what my grandma would do is she would take a tape recorder when it was on for the 30 minutes, and she would hit record with the tape recorder up against the TV so that we could listen to it again and again and again for years until finally VHS.
I like the slightly off version of the Linus and Lucy theme.
It is.
Linus is having a breakdown.
What do you call that?
It's a little off key.
Yeah. If you didn't know better, you think he's drugged up. Yeah. Well, of course,
he seems like, when I was a kid, I thought he was dying or something.
Yeah, poor kid. His nostrils look cute like that.
Yeah.
Look at Snoopy.
Like, what's wrong with this kid?
This is scary. He's all concerned.
That's what it feels like when you're sick and nauseous and thrown up. The way it's spinning everything around his head, you feel like that.
I was saying this to someone yesterday who had the flu, and I told him, because it was a kid, I said, be with him, because when you're like that, the whole world's coming in. So be patient with them.
Everything can be spinning when you've got a bad fever, and it's horrible.
Especially when you're a kid, because you're not used to that stuff yet. Oh, I always love when he would carry the dish like a hat.
Yep.
Always kind of remind me, and who knows, maybe they got the inspiration from this, but always remind me of Johnny Appleseed.
Yep.
I'm not used to seeing him with teeth like that. I mean, once in a while they do, I guess, but.
I don't know if he thinks the mouth art is comforting to Linus.
Knowing him, he's just being ornery and enjoying himself.
Yeah.
That sounds like a spring with him.
I don't know how long I went before I realized the mouth harp thing is actually a legit thing.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought he had like some weird thing he kept finding that makes boinging noises and wanted to play with it. Because I was a kid and I would have, like the little doorstop, you go boing, 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 boing.
Oh, they did a good job with this bridge and all.
Yeah.
They didn't have the computer stuff like they do now.
You had to draw it all. Yeah.
And it's not easy to make them straight lines and all.
It's a bit foreboding when you come back to Charlie Brown and he's learning to spell disgrace because he's going to get disgraced here. Hope I'm not spoiling it for you all, but it's Charlie Brown. It's not going to work out for him.
And all those wrinkles around his eye.
Yeah, he's so tired. He needs to sleep. But what wrecks it for him? Linus in his blanket.
He's starting to look like a crazy alien with the wrinkles.
I'm getting delirious. I better get a hold of myself.
Been there, pal.
Thump. T-H-U-M-P, thump.
Thump.
Poor kid.
Oh. That's the thing. What he really needs is a good night's rest. But then that's when Linus shows up when he needs his blanket.
S-L-E-E-P. Sleep.
Yeah.
Snoopy went all the way out there to get a cup of milk or a cup of water and drink it himself.
Yeah, instead of giving it to Linus because Linus passed out. Also, I have heard you don't want to throw water in the face of somebody who's passed out because they may gasp, think they're drowning, and suck that water in and choke. And he does it again.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do with someone else's
carry it to the library and leave it behind.
That's one thing I do hate when someone has something belongs to you and they just... I've had it happen.
Like that darker version.
Yeah, it's that off key.
That off key one. I think we're going to get a great scene of Snoopy doing his ice skating thing here, too.
You know what he looks like there? I don't know why. It's reminded me of... maybe it's because the way he had that lid on his head from the guards, but it reminded me of Darkwing Duck a little bit. Kind of a little, I'm the dog you don't dare bark. What is going on with his ears?
I think he was using it to hold his head inside the bars or something. I don't know.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Now, is that the ice skating thing?
Yeah. See, Snoopy's going to do this great ice skating scene now. With a great little piece of music here. While poor Linus is just freaking out still.
I remember all sorts of little pictures we used to see at Christmas time of him ice skating.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they had a toy that was supposed to be like that. Maybe it was just an ornament. Pardon me. That was my sneeze. Yeah, see, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember ornaments and posters mostly at school.
I've got a version of this sung on the Vince Guaraldi, the holiday special collection. It's a nice little tune here. It's called Snowfall, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they have something similar to this when the snow's coming down. That's it.
Yeah, I think they use the same piece in the Christmas one, too.
It just doesn't have that background part to it.
Yeah, this is more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm. And that... They're sitting there trying to eat that snow, Yeah. I like to wait for
catch it on your tongue.
Yeah, and he's all. I like to wait until what do you say? Till February.
Yeah, I don't go for that early snow.
I think it's Lucy.
Yeah, it's Lucy. Yeah.
No, we're definitely in New York because you saw what that was.
Yeah.
Oh, now look at them now. They're using film where people are playing
rotoscoping
hockey.
Is what that's called.
Yeah, rotoscoping.
You film it and then
Popeye
you color over top of it.
They used to do it with the old Flesher Popeyes.
Flesher stuff.
Yeah. Some of them used to say, I've heard them say this, that some people used to believe that those are the first long movies, animated movies, but I'm like, 30 minutes. I don't think that's a full-length film. But they're good.
Yeah.
Fletcher was really good. I got them.
That's the best Popeye stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got them. I got almost all now that they've got out yet. Even the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and now I just got... Oh, he's missing some teeth.
Yeah, I love how he goes from this nice ice skating fantasy to this hockey thing.
Yeah, missing teeth so and penalty box. Being
sent to the penalty box.
I love his
Snoopy's
voice.
Got the greatest imagination.
And I love his voice.
Yeah. That was, I think, Bill Melendez, I believe, didn't he? Do with him and Woodstock both?
Really?
One of the producers of these cartoons. He did the voices, I believe.
They had this squeakiness about them.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Now, speaking also of Snoopy's ice skating, have you seen the one of the specials where Peppermint Patty's becoming a figure skater and Snoopy is her coach?
Oh, I think I have seen that. Oh, there's that song there.
Yeah. Played so joyfully.
I gotta say, of all of them, still those original ones that are my very favorites, and it's the Christmas one and the Great Pumpkin are still my very favorite. That doesn't mean I don't love all the others. And there's some new ones that they do on the AT&T. Hello.
Apple.
Yeah. I like those.
I haven't really watched them.
There's a new one that I need to finish that I started about Franklin, and it was good when I saw of it. Now, they're not as fun like these, but they're still good. I mean, they're done by computer, and so you can tell they go quicker with them, but they're still good. And they try to give them that down-home feeling, but I don't know. I just like the old school animation.
Yeah.
Because you could tell it took real people taking the time. It took a lot longer, that's for certain.
Yeah. It's flat.
Poor Snoop.
After all that.
Oh, I love the lions there. That's great. Now be careful. Be careful.
New York Public Library.
The Ghostbusters in there, buddy.
The gray lady may be in there.
That's right. And later on, that lion's going to come to life.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's kind of spooky looking there.
I can't remember how he gets his blanket back.
Well, maybe Aladdin them are flying with it as a carpet.
They went to a whole new world.
I've never heard Linus sound quite as babyish as this. Yeah. Usually he's the one that's the adult of the... but he also always has his blankie.
Right. Reminds me of the Mr. Mom with the whoopee.
That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Which, no, I don't know that they did, but it seemed like that's kind of where they got some of the idea of it. You know, I mean, some kids need something. I didn't have the blanket, but I had other things, toys and things. Mine was a kangaroo doll.
Yeah, it looks like his blanket's right there underneath the bed, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It may have some dirt on it. I'm not sure. Just a couple dots on that.
That blanket's probably dirty anyway. He takes it everywhere.
Oh, that's true. I mean, him and Snoopy are always fighting over it and throwing each other around on it.
Is Charlie Brown polishing his shoes with the blanket now?
Ugh!
Ugh, I love it. I love when he Uggs.
Yeah. Well, it's a very Charles Schultz thing. Is
It is.
Oh, A-U-G-H.
And sometimes Arg.
Yeah.
I love that. The blanket's dancing.
The blanket's dancing with him.
That's cute. It becomes a character. And that's how we feel with our teddy bears and other things. They're alive. They have their own voices and things. I doubt that's going to happen here, but...
And I would hear that Linus and Lucy theme being played prominently like we normally would. In a happy way.
And through time... I don't remember exactly when they did it. Maybe it was in the 80s when they had the cartoon but on Saturday mornings. But through time, this became the Peanuts theme.
Yeah, it was very recognizable.
He was throwing it like a
paper airplane. How you fold the blanket into a paper airplane. Don't make any sense.
Only Linus can.
Yep. You'll need it. Good luck, Charlie Brown. Yeah.
You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Remember that from Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, you're going to need it.
That's right. And your spelling bee. Aunt B.
Yeah, even the doorman has to be child-sized.
Oh, yeah. You got to do it that way.
Because you can't have an adult showing up.
Or otherwise, the only way they could have done that is if they've had from the hand down. And
if you didn't see the entire adult. But we didn't ever see any of the other adults a hand down or anything either. No. The audience is filled with kids.
She looks very similar, like one of the other kids.
Like Patty, yeah. Yeah, you know Snoopy and chairs don't get along, especially folding chairs.
You can't stand them. He's flirting. Oh, I love him. Pigpen, honestly, after Charlie Brown, Pigpen's my favorite. Maybe because the times I try to clean up and I'll turn around and suddenly all the dirt's around me again. I cannot be organized.
Supersede. S-U-P.
I like the way they do this, and they make the sound effect they have when they get wiped out. The little pops that they get eliminated is
like
fun.
a balloon, like a little bubble. I like that they have kids of different races and stuff too.
Yeah.
Fussbudget. Fuss budget.
Hey, how'd he know that word?
Because you're a fuss budget, Lucy.
Hey, there's only 2 left.
And one of them is Charlie Brown. Hooray!
Shut up. It's going to mess him up.
Not like he can hear them. They're at home.
No, but
in New York, you know. I know it's just stressful when you get to the end here. Like, oh, you want him to win so bad. Yeah, and remember this. They're all you can do, Charlie Brown, but when he loses it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Here we go, Beagle. That's his dog. It used to be so easy for him.
Beagle. B-E-A-G-E-L. Beagle.
Ugh.
Ugh. It's so sad. Yeah.
Oh, that poor kid.
I remember when I was a kid, that kind of just broke my heart. I really wanted him to win.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand when I was a kid how much that Charlie Brown just never wins, really. So I think for a long time,
and I understand that feeling, man. Well, you already know, but for so many years, even as an adult, I kept being told that I was nothing and incompetent and all that. It made you feel like that all the time.
And here comes the mouth harp. And you got a long bus ride home to just think about, almost winning and then not.
Mm-hmm. Missed it by that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I think about with people who play football and all that on the way home. And I do feel bad for the teams that don't win. And not just our home teams, but the other ones too, because I do worry about them,
When you get so close and then...
Yeah. Now, I'll be honest, I worry about our folks more than theirs, but still, I don't want harm on anybody, or depression or anything else.
Yeah. They're all out to send him off, but nobody there to meet him when he comes home. It's like they forget all about him.
There's a lot of people like that around that time. Shortly later, sent him off to war, and then they weren't there to bring him home. That was sad. The protest.
They love you when you're winning, and they don't care a lick about you when you lose.
That's right.
I think he needs Jack Skellington. But after all, I went and gave it my best. And what the heck?
I wanted to say no top. What the heck?
Yeah.
I can see Snoopy dressed like that.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, that's right. For a minute, I touched the sky.
Speaking of Charlie Brown, I saw a watch I want to get where kind of like a Mickey Mouse one where it's his hands. But guess what I love even the most? The band. It's the yellow with the zigzag.
Nice.
I'm going to have to get it. You know me. I've been buying different watches. Right now I'm wearing a Batman Superman.
I don't even own a watch anymore. I got my phone. Now, I think we have a good moral lesson about to come up here. And Linus, of course, is here. Linus is your here's the moral of the story character.
He's the pal that's always there for you, really. Is that the name of their baseball team that they do? The Giants?
No, they don't have a name for their team.
Oh,
as far
I didn't know if they did or not.
Because it's not an official licensed team. There is a whole other special about them trying to almost get into a Little League, but Little League doesn't allow girls to play. So
yeah, at the time,
We had a ball game after school.
I don't care. I'm never going to play ball either. I'm never going to do anything again.
It's the first game we won all season.
Oh, brother.
First game they win is because he doesn't
I
play.
understand how you feel. You worked hard studying for the spelling bee, and I suppose you feel you let everyone down, and you made a fool out of yourself and everything.
But did you notice something, Charlie Brown? What's that? The world didn't come to an end.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice, Charlie Brown? The world didn't come to an end.
Yep.
It's going to keep on going. You get up, you try again.
That's right.
Such a simple little message. For faith builds
That's
perseverance. With trials build perseverance.
Keep on keeping on.
I'm getting the whole verse all messed up, but
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13.
Yeah.
I will not give up.
But he's building perseverance and then building endurance by keep going and, facing those adversities.
To quote Rocky Balboa, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take.
And I like this. Charlie Brown going and just seeing everybody just going about, playing marbles, jumping rope, doing their normal things. The baseball mound is still there. Yeah. Oh, there's Lucy out there with that ball. Here we go. You think this would work too. He's sneaking up to see if he can kick that ball, but she knows he's coming.
She's got Lucy senses, not spider senses, but if she has spider senses, Black Widow senses.
I love that. He's like, I'm finally going to kick it because she doesn't see me coming. She can't pull it away.
He's got this wicked little smirk going on.
I'm finally going to kick that ball. I'm going to kick it all the way to the moon.
It's not something you usually see from him.
Here he comes.
Get him. Get it. Get it.
Hey, whoosh.
Arg. Don't worry, Charlie Brown. Now, that's kind of neat how at the end here they have all these artists.
Pictures of all the artists that worked on it.
Well, you can definitely tell the times there.
Mm-hmm. The ink and paint ladies.
Mm-hmm. The ladies at the time, most of them were ladies. They were so good at the inking. Disney said most of them were ladies that they had. Not all of them, but most of them.
That's what he hired women to do is ink and paint. And I'd say the main reason would be is men tend to end up being colorblind. And they can lose it, but women can tell colors. They're going to get it right.
Women are really good about, according to what they said, was they're good at keep their hands steady. I could feel it. Well, that was fun.
And there it was. Boy named Charlie Brown. But yeah, I'd say that's the overall, like, if there was a lesson to it, is that patience builds endurance.
That's right.
You keep going with stuff. All the adversity comes across them because Charlie Brown keeps going. And you know what? The world didn't end just because you messed up and you failed.
Never give up.
Never surrender.
That's right.
So he finds his motivation to just kind of keep going. It's like, you know what? You're going to fail at things.
That's right.
But you just get up, you try.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You're going to fail. And probably maybe you'll fail at everything. But you just keep going.
That's right. One of the things that, going to a biblical stance here, one of the things that people often misunderstand about the Lord, they always think that once you have faith in the Lord, that nothing bad will ever happen to you. And that's not true. It's not that nothing bad will happen. Bad things are going to happen to you. In fact, it says in the Bible that when you're a person of faith, because you have faith in God's grace, that in this world, the world is against you, meaning the lost and Satan is against you. You are guaranteed to have bad things happen.
Yeah.
However, it's not whether you get, as I was quoting Rocky a while ago, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. Mm-hmm. In this case, it's the fact that you continue to keep on going and having faith and following God.
Yeah.
You will be attacked in the world. But with God, never give up on him and keep moving forward with him, because he is with you. He will never leave you. He will never abandon you, never forsake you. Never.
Reminds me actually something I saw on Facebook today. Someone points out, it's like, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were never promised they weren't going to be in the fire.
That's
but
right.
They were promised they weren't going in alone.
That's exactly right. And they were. Jesus, pre-incarnate.
A pre-incarnate Jesus there
pre-incarnate
with
Christ.
them in the fire.
And he was there even before with trying to say Abram.
Yeah.
He was there with so many people. He would show up there, Isaiah, and he was there with, he was there so many people.
For anyone who doesn't know, when you see the angel of the Lord, and it's capitalized, that is a pre-incarnate version.
Just so happens this morning, I was reading, now I'm not talking about whenever he appeared before Moses and the others in the burning bush and things like that. But just what happened today, I was reading, and I want to say it was it was Exodus 23, is when you first hear of the angel of the Lord coming down to Moses. This is right after the Lord spoke the 10 Commandments to all the Israelites. And then it talks about how God was saying, I am sending my angel, and the angel will be with you. And this is when he's saying that he will guide you. He's talking about to Moses. And this is after God had appeared to all the Israelites, and they said, Moses, you go and speak to the Lord. We can't handle it.
We're afraid to.
So and he said, I'm going to send my angel to be with you all. And so that's when you first hear how he's going to come. And Jesus, pre-incarnate Christ, he would guide them in a cloud, a pillar of cloud. And then at night, he would be like a torch, like a big thing of fire, flames of fire, so that he would be like a large torch. Can you imagine that?
How cool.
God, oh, my goodness, that's amazing. I'm getting all excited. But it's beautiful. The problem
Through the wilderness, he was guiding them.
The problem is,
they just had to
I didn't realize that angel was Christ all those times, and I drew all these pictures. Now I got to go back and read it. It's so annoying, but it's okay. Because like with these people, you have to continue to go back and make it better and better and better.
Yep. And you keep going.
Yeah. He also appeared to, was there with Daniel to shut the mouths of the lions. Right. Yeah. So when you get through in your fiery furnace, you get lost in the wilderness, you get tossed in the lion's den, God's with you. I don't know how people manage to get through the struggles of life. I don't either.
Without the Lord.
People ask, I thought Jesus wasn't around until he was born. No. When was Jesus around? Always.
He was always there.
And in the Bible, you'll find him there all the way back in chapter 1, but in chapter 3 especially, you'll see they're saying, with us, with them, they, the Lord.
Let us make them in our image.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So Jesus has always been around.
Yep.
Jesus was basically that, we'll say lamb, that because it doesn't say specifically what the animal was, but we'll say lamb because symbolically. Yeah. So when the lamb was slain to clothe Adam and Eve, that's symbolic of what Jesus did for us, to clothe us for eternity.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get in a sermon.
Because sin could only be covered by blood.
That's exactly right.
And so an animal had to die to help cover them.
And think about this. Adam and Eve tried to clothe themselves with their own work.
Yeah. And it wasn't going to work.
Nope.
It wasn't going to work.
Can't be done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting in the sermon.
Something
I didn't mean
had
to
die. But
it's good.
Well, we want to pull like a spiritual meaning out of the film like this. And,
That's exactly right.
Just remember, you're going to go through things. Yeah. You are not alone.
That's right.
But you're going to go through it. There will be strife. There will be struggles. But you aren't alone.
I think we've all walked that Charlie Brown walk with the head down.
We've felt it. But
put that head back up.
The world didn't stop turning.
That's right.
It keeps going.
That's right.
So you've got another morning. You've got another fresh start.
Amen.
Go for it again. Because we fail. We fail a lot of stuff. And you're like, you know what? We fail. We get back up again.
As it says in
I feel like we're getting repetitive, but
what I was going to say is it says in Romans 3:23, for all has sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Romans 3:10, there's none righteous, not one. Anyway, the point is we all fall.
Yeah,
we all fall short.
Yep.
Not a one.
And actually, even a podcast I was listening to today with James Kennison, although it wasn't one of his shows, but he basically observes like sometimes you strive and you struggle so much, like you're trying to hang on to God, but really, God's hanging on to you.
Yeah.
Let go. Yeah. Let him lead and guide. Let him perfect you. He keeps working on you.
Going back to Christmas, because Christmas and Charlie Brown go hand in hand, for me. Yeah. Well, one of our
I haven't finished my point.
Sorry, go ahead.
Quit trying to measure up, because you won't. God's got you, though.
Yes.
Right? He is going to have you measured up, and he'll work on you. But when you're striving so hard, because, I've got to make sure I'm good. No one can ever see me fall. I got to make sure I'm good. You're striving so much on that you're not letting God just take care of it.
Yes. I was going to say at Christmas time back when I was 13 years old, we were doing a choir thing for a church at Metro North.
Oh, yeah. I remember doing those.
I was carrying this whole stack of hymns from our church. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking in. Now, keep in mind, it's Christmas time. This is 1989. And I'm walking in there, and it had been snowing outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure y'all remember Metro North. Anyway, I'm walking in there, and I'm wearing these.
Really, this is around the world. People could be listening to this.
That's true.
So
I'm sitting there walking in there, and it is Montgomery Ward or wherever. And as I'm walking in, my feet start slipping and sliding, and all of a sudden, whoop, boom, and all the hymns, whoa, 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 up in the air, and they're flying all over the place. Well, I went to catch myself, and I grabbed a hold of this chair, and there's this guy sitting in the chair, and I about pulled him over with me.
No.
But I got back up again, got all the hymns, also, whoop, boom, slipped again, and knocked him over. Finally, the second time I did it, and about pulled the guy over, he got up and walked away. The point is that we all slip and slide.
Yeah.
But I didn't give up. I got up and went and sang.
Get it? And we still sing. I remember we used to sing on that fountain. They'd shut the water off.
That's right.
And we'd come and we'd sing on that fountain.
I was always so scared that fountain was going to come on.
They'd forget we were there. And whoosh, we were all going to get wet and then have to go out in the cold.
Yeah, they had these what do they call them? Those, I can't think of what you call them.
The old hot air balloon
balloons,
in there.
Yeah.
We never got to sing over there. We always got those side fountains.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I always wanted the hot air balloon thing.
Because I'd seen where they would do a show. We had an Elvis impersonator over there once. But I guess it's about a good time to wrap this up.
Sure, man. No problem.
So this has been Watching Movies with My Pastor. I almost have been thinking I should just maybe call this Watching with My Pastor, because at some point I want to watch some TV shows. Yeah. I've even had the thought, you know what? Shows that I wasn't a fan of that you are, that maybe we should try to get me to watch Seinfeld.
Oh, that's a good show. I mean, it's got some honor.
I've never quite gotten into Seinfeld, but that might be some fun episodes. So a lot of fun things coming. At some point, I think next thing I do want to watch Spider-Man, but we're going to watch movies, some that I haven't seen before, some that I have.
I got to give you a heads up, though. Now, there's some honor in this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but with anything that has anything that might be, honoriness, as we'll call it, we won't be hearing the audio of the film anyway, except for when I need to play a clip so you understand what we're discussing. So some of these, I think this one, hopefully I'm going to keep all the audio to where you can maybe watch along with us. So you'll have to purchase this off of Vudu or something so you can watch Boy Named Charlie Brown. I think hopefully you watched with us because we didn't talk much. Other times we'll just, I'll cut together when we actually were talking. But so hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you tell people about it. Subscribe. If you're watching YouTube and you're watching just the screen there, like, subscribe, share this with others. There is a regular audio feed. Go and check that out. And of course, go to neverlandpodcast.com. That's the hub for all the podcasts, except for, I am working up a radio show and there's other stuff. But just go and check it out and go in and have fun and enjoy. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.